Welcome. I did want to share my run with you guys. It was definitely hard to achieve, and I wouldn't have been able to achieve it without the help of my great friend Khaos and the moral support from my friend Zero. They definitely pushed me to keep striving to do better, and I appreciate friends like that. When you get them in life, you gotta keep them around. So as you see, once you go into the first boss, you definitely want to switch to Lucia, use your Bald Eagle for the debuff, switch to Aerith, do Night Bloom, and then switch at the end to Sephiroth and cast his Ice Blade ability. After that, you want to switch over to both Lucia and Aerith. Immediately cast with Lucia, but for Aerith, you want to hold for a second in order for you to have 2 ATB less than max with Sephiroth. That is going to be very vital for the fight that's coming up. Sorry that I clicked through the score. I think it was like 71 and change. It wasn't too bad. I was just grinding. So I got a little impatient with having to see the scores every time. So I definitely did skip a lot of the scores. Sorry about that, guys. But if you do follow this strat, it's very important for this next boss, or not boss wave, but minion spawns. You need to target the rightmost minion first. Immediately cast a 3 ATB Blizzara with Sephiroth. That's why we pulled a bunch of ATB for him. And you should be able to insta-kill both of them by spamming 4, which is your Blizzara. After that, you go over to Lucia, you do her debuff, and you switch over to Aerith, and you do her attack. It should take 2 to take it down. If you were a little bit stronger, maybe you could do it faster, but that is what it is. At the end of this fight, you should be trying to aim for 5 to 6 ATB on Sephiroth, so that on the next fight, which happens to be the Mole Crawler, you can instant kill the mobs, switch over to Aerith, send her debuff at the Mole Crawler, and then after that, you should be able to take the Mole Crawler out pretty comfortably, depending on where you have your weapons at. As you see here, we're just picking up the chest as we go. We're going to head over to the Mole Crawler now. And if you do see the Mole Crawler, he is very weak to Earth, I believe. So that's why we're bringing the magical-based Lucia. That's why we're bringing the magical-based Aerith and a magical-based Sephiroth in order for you to be able to do all the things you need to do in battle. As we're starting off the battle, we definitely want to switch over to Aerith first, so that or make sure to kill both mobs with Sephiroth there. I think I might have misclicked a little bit, but it's okay. So now we're waiting for the Night Bloom here. As soon as that Night Bloom goes off, you make sure to start tossing everything with your other units. You make sure to be controlling them yourself, or else they might do the wrong thing. I know that Sephiroth has a tendency to try and buff himself, which we don't use up until a later stage in the match. Not this match, but against the twins. It's very important for Sephiroth to be buffed, as well as Aerith having that Garnet buff for herself, in order for them to be able to do the one shot that is coming up with the brothers. This strategy was shown to me by Khaos. Huge credit to Khaos. As you see, you have to reapply that debuff, and it's great to finish off the fight with Sephiroth, so that the other two ladies have more ATB to work with on the next match. And for some reason, she casted a Garnet Rod there. That was something that was later improved on a run, and I'll show my score for that run later on. So that's 65,686. I believe on my better run, I was able to get almost a 67k score there, which is phenomenal. As you see here, we're choosing every single score boost. This is going to help get that big fat score at the end. So please bear in mind that not many accounts can do this. And I chose to showcase the lower side run in order for people to understand that you don't need all the max weapons. I will go over the last of my units and what I used and the budget builds that I had for them. Some people might say that I am a whale, and which I am, because I've definitely spent a good amount of money in the game. But the truth is that you can do this with lower accounts as well, just not to the same extent. You might not be able to do the nuke on the brothers as well as we whales do it, but it's definitely a viable strat in order for you to save yourself a lot of points on the brothers. Now we're gonna go ahead and go over to the Baylor King. I believe the process for the Baylor King is you have to primarily debuff with Aerith first. After you debuff with Aerith, you send everything. By everything, I mean Ice Blade with Sephiroth, Earth Blast with Lucia, and you keep doing Quakes with Aerith. So first you go over to Aerith, you do that Night Bloom, switch over, make sure that she starts doing her attacks. Sephiroth's doing his attacks. You don't use any limits for this fight. You just make sure to keep cycling so that the correct unit is doing the correct thing. As you see, I'm just cycling through units, and we were able to get him before he does his water gun attack. This might not be a viable strat for everybody, but if you're able to get anywhere close to it, it's definitely really good because you save a lot of points because I've taken very minimal damage. After this fight, we're going to go ahead and choose that 10%, the boost again of score, and we're going to be able to look at our HP, which is doing really well, 5, 3, and 5% lost, which is phenomenal. It's very little HP lost. This is where the fight gets a little complicated and you have to have done some homework in order to be able to do what I'm about to do. First things first, you're going to definitely want to use a summon gauge bar on Aerith, as well as a magic jelly on Aerith. Because she has Bahamut, you want to make sure that she is ready for this next attack. The magic jelly and the summon charge are very important for you to be able to try and nuke down the boss. If you have the power sufficient, you can take out the boss by triple summoning, but leave Ramuh to the end. The reason we say this is because sometimes if you're strong enough, you don't even need Ramuh to kill these guys. But if you put Ramuh at the end, there's a chance that you're able to nuke them with Bahamut on the second hit, which in turn can save you all of your Bahamut summon for the next ads. And if you happen to do this strat, the ads become pretty much a joke. For now, you want to make sure to buff yourself with Sephiroth, buff yourself with Aerith. You're going to go over to Lucia, and we're going to go, this was the run that I didn't do the most ideal, so this run I made sure to summon right away, but we're going to have to use all 3 summons. On the run that I ended up getting the high score of, I ended up not needing the Ramuh at the end. You'll see what I'm talking about. You basically get left with a little tiny sliver, and this can be solved if you're a little short. You make sure to do 3 ATB moves with Lucia, and you see the boss was left with a basic sliver, and it was kind of crazy because I thought I was going to beat him without it, but it is what it is. It was a learning process. For the next guys, it becomes a little more complicated. If you don't have the summon ready, it's good for you to have ATB ready. That way you can instant nuke the left hand side ad in order to prevent poison. Poison is a huge thing in this fight, and because I was able to circumvent the poison, it made me be able to equip more magic attack for the next fight that I end up getting my high score in. And it's very important for you to follow these instructions in order to be able to get that high score. For example, once you go into this fight, it's very important that you target the ad on the left and you double Blizzara him with Sephiroth. It's very important for you to hit him right away. That way it minimizes the poison damage you're actually taking. So as you see here, the run, I was talking with Khaos and Zero. They're telling me exactly what needs to go down. It's not that I don't know the fight, but I kept having to retry the twins until I got the right combo down. But now that we're here in the stage, we're going over exactly what the pattern is, and we're going to go ahead and do it here. I don't know, it's the first time I actually got to the chest without hitting the ads. I was thinking maybe it glitched, but they do appear at one point or another. So as you see here, we're going to go into this fight, insta-click the left mob, and we're going to instant Blizzara twice. That should take out the mob on the left. And after the first mob is out, we're going to target the one on the right. We're going to blizzard him. twice, and that takes him out. And with Lucia, we're going to go ahead and do the ice debuff, which she did on her own. And then we're going to send an ice aerial frostblade with Sephiroth, which is more than enough to take out the boss. Oh, I guess not. So we were a little short, and we were able to do it. When you do get the RNG and you end up killing the boss with Bahamut and Shiva alone, you're able to take out all these mobs. You do a Ramu, right? So with the Ramu, it'll leave them basically a sliver. You want to target the right dog and make sure to Blizzara instantly twice, and that'll take out both dogs before they get the poison out. And that's what I ended up doing for my max score run. I'm showing you guys this run to show you guys that you're still able to get a great score while making a lot of mistakes. So as you see here, we're going to go to the last boss. We saw that Aerith was a bit low on HP. So what I ended up deciding to do was, obviously we're going to throw on that summon charge on Sephiroth twice. Make sure that he has that limit ready to launch. We're going to go ahead and Magic Jelly Sephiroth as well. The Magic Jelly is really important for you to be able to hitting those big numbers with Sephiroth. And at the end, we're going to go ahead and use the High Potion in order to maximize the HP of my units. I believe I used 2 total. Maybe 1. Maybe 1. I'm not sure. I don't remember. Yeah, we used 2. Yep, I thought I was correct. So with Sephiroth, that was enough HP. After you have your team set up, you want to make sure that you have the proper ATBage and what you want to do the correct order. It's good to have the thought in mind of your attack order in order for you to be able to do the damage that you want. As you see, my attack order was Lucia, Bald Eagle, Aerith, Night Bloom, and after that you follow up with a limit break for Sephiroth. It's very important for you to throw the limit before you throw any attacks because of the fact that Sephiroth needs to rebuild his ice limit potentially. So we're going to go ahead and go into the run. I believe on my high score run, I wasn't able to get to the second summon, but we killed them with a huge Sephiroth aerial frostblade. You guys will be able to see here. I think we were just going over the strat real quick, making sure that I have the correct people to debuff at the correct order. It's very important for you to keep in mind that the debuffs do go away at a certain time, so it's very important for you to be on top of that, as well as knowing which attack order you're using. It's very vital for this fight. So Sephiroth first, you do the buff, you go over to Lucia, you do Divine Burst, you do Aerith, Night Bloom, and right after the Night Bloom connects, you launch. After the launch, this should kill the bombs immediately, which is really good that you don't have to worry about them. After this, you're going to throw the kitchen sink at them. You're going to do everything you can to just do as much damage. You're going to use every single Blizzara you have, every single Blizzara with Aerith as well, and you're just going to keep launching them with Sephiroth. It's really important that you're controlling Sephiroth and making sure that he's doing the correct thing. It's not that he's going to buff himself again, but sometimes if you're on auto, the game likes to go to defense mode. As you see here, I did make a mistake. I started saving for the ATB, and I threw 1 for ATB, and then I followed up with the debuff, making sure to debuff with her before I even toss anything with Sephiroth. This guarantees that the Sephiroth hit will connect with all the debuffs. You're going to make sure to go into defensive mode here. It's really important for you to go into defensive mode or else he can one-shot your unit. It's really important. If you see here, there's a bit of a game lag where it doesn't let you switch back. It's kind of weird. It's happened in many different dungeons. You wait for the full unison and then you launch. So as you see here, the boss is starting to incinerate, and I started seeing, oh wow, the debuffs are going to end. So that's when I said, okay, I kind of have to reformat a little here. Make sure that this Divine Burst goes through. I don't think I actually connected it, but I did do the summon in order to cancel out the gauge and get some refunds on my ATB. I was trying to rush out the Diamond Dust. So as you see here, we go ahead and debuff double, and the connection with the Sephiroth ended it. I could have done a bit better, which I ended up doing, and I'll go ahead and show that at the end here. It should be a screenshot of what it was. Let's see what happens here. I do have a little bit of extra recording as well, but that shouldn't be an issue. So as you see here, we're going to go ahead and look at our final score. Before I was 2.86, and this score definitely pushed my score up to I think it was 2.89 actually. So this score was actually pretty crazy, and I was able to achieve a better one, but that's neither here nor there. I wanted to make my run more approachable. I know that not everybody has the OB weapons that I have, but this is what I was able to do it with, and I was able to sneak out a very great rank 5. These are not the current scores because all these people went above and beyond and did better. But for now, I'm very happy with my score.